Welcome back.
Hey, Stanley.
Yeah, George?
How'd you like your own TV show?
Hey, I got something to mail you out.
Oh, you be careful now, you hear? Before you go and say something you're gonna regret for the rest of your days.
Like what? Like the wrong kid died?
Oh, no!
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of The Wrong Podcast Died. I'm Brian.
And I'm Rod.
And on this episode, we're continuing Autumn Summer of Love.
Woo!
Part 2. Well, yeah, I guess. If it was part 2, though, wouldn't we be covering Dirty Dancing Havana Nights?
No.
And not a different movie?
No, that just means there needs to be like a part 3, part 4, part 5, and they're just all different movies that I choose and not you.
Oh, okay. I was like, there can't be a part 2, 3, 4, 5 of Dirty Dancing because Patrick Swayze is like the wind in our dreams.
All we are is dust in the wind. Oh.
Yeah, he's dust in the wind.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that Richard Marx? I said that, right?
Yeah.
No. Dust in the Wind is Kansas.
Why
Right?
can't I get it?
Yeah,
I'm going to figure out who he is.
but we're covering the 1990 satire film
Yep.
by John Waters.
Musical comedy,
Absolutely not.
satire film, Cry Baby.
You're looking to rumble, you're looking at me cause I'm the king. I'm a king. I'm a king.
Yep. I've been called it many times before.
Maybe that's why she didn't like the movie.
No, I wanted him to cry more.
So it's directed and written by John Waters. It stars Johnny Depp, Amy Locane, Susan Terrell, Iggy Pop, Ricki Lake, Tracy Lords, Polly Bergen. It came out on March 14th, 1990. It was premiered in Baltimore. And then April 6th in 1990 throughout the United States. Had a runtime of 85 minutes. Had a budget of 8 to 12 million. I don't know what you have on the budget, Rod.
I had about 12 million. I heard 11 and then I saw 12 later on.
It only made 8.3 million at the box office.
Did not do well.
I don't think John Waters goes to make movies that are gonna do well at the box office.
No.
I just don't feel like he cares. I'll give you a little synopsis. In 1950s Baltimore, which is where most of John Waters' films are set, a bad boy with a heart of gold wins the love of a good girl whose boyfriend sets out for revenge. On the last episode of the podcast, Autumn told us about how she started this film and got 10 minutes or so in and turned on Dirty Dancing because
It's true.
she hates this movie.
So did you not finish it at all?
I did finish it. I wouldn't even call them breaks in between. I just kind of kept going back to it when I could. You know what I mean?
I was about to rip up your paycheck.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts about it. I guess. I don't know. Maybe just arguments.
This one has two different runtimes because the regular one is an hour and 25 minutes. But what I think Brian and I both had was the director's cut, which was an hour and 30. And that is the only cut I've ever seen.
You both watched.
I have a physical copy of this.
Stop it. And
Yeah,
you
why
watched it
wouldn't I?
twice? Stop it.
Yeah, with commentary by John Waters. Rated PG-13 again.
Again?
Yeah.
This is actually more PG-13 than Dirty Dancing, I feel like.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know.
Can we get into it? Because I feel like I have some things I need to say.
One thing I want to mention about one of the cast members, Patricia Hearst. She played Wanda's mother. She's the Patty Hearst that got kidnapped by a Symbionese Liberation Army and then would later on rob a bank.
What?
Yeah. And in 1976, she was convicted for that crime of the bank robbery. She was sentenced to 35 years in prison, but it was later reduced to 7 years because President Jimmy Carter commuted her sentence, and then later President Bill Clinton pardoned her.
Wow. Why?
She got into movies.
Because people
Then
knew
she
her?
got back into the movies.
Really?
Yeah, she seemed pretty close with John Waters.
I mean, that's kind of cool. She sounds awesome.
I feel like if we're going to have Autumn watch a John Waters film, this is maybe not.
Hairspray.
Probably Hairspray would
This
be
was also-
a starting point.
This was a spoof on Hairspray, too, wasn't it?
I
little.
feel like this was a spoof of 1950s, of Grease, of Elvis. I feel like Crybaby is Elvis, or kind of a spoof on Elvis.
Also, Rod, don't you think a little bit Johnny Cash? I swear it was like
Kind of with the rockabilly.
when they were singing together. So I am okay with the spoof and the satire. Maybe I wouldn't want to watch it, but I'd be okay with it. You know what I mean? But I mean, this man sitting next to me takes it so seriously. And I thought he was mad earlier because I called it a satire, but it is.
He loves his crybaby in his John Waters movies.
I mean, that's sweet. Like, he was talking about the plot, and I was like, it had a plot? That's crazy. I didn't know that.
God.
It is
I'm
a
just
musical.
kidding.
I did forget it's a musical.
It's not even the songs are like, hey, I'm a girl and you're a guy. And
Well, it's still
boop, boop,
musical.
boop.
I think Hairspray is more of a musical than this because, well, Hairspray was more of a commentary on race, and then this is more a commentary on class, really.
Yeah.
That's what he
And
said.
she missed the boat on that. She's like, I didn't notice
Because-
anything about it being about class. I'm like,
didn't say that.
You got the squares and the drapes, and
Okay, if I would have known that it was satire and like what it was trying, like if it was supposed to be campy, like I don't know. I just think I needed a heads up.
well, I mean, you should have known from the beginning because at the beginning they line up the kids from high school in 2 different lines to get polio vaccines, which I thought was the funniest thing ever. And the squares in one line and the drapes in the other line. And
Oh, that's crazy.
when there's a fight breaks out and the judge says to the girl's grandma, is it her grandma?
grandmother, yep.
Did you know that there was rock music going on or something like that? And did you know there was, what does she say, hillbillies or something like that there?
Yeah, something like that.
And did you know there was coloreds there?
Oh God.
And it's like,
So if you watch this with the commentary with John Waters, he says he wanted it to be completely authentic, as close as he could possibly be, because you'll see the Confederate flag in the background. But he said, I wasn't going to take it out. And it was because he didn't mean to offend anybody, but this is what even Baltimore, Maryland was in the 50s.
I thought it was supposed to be like funny, like look at these clowns. You know what I mean?
no.
Well, I mean, it's somewhat of a satire, but it's still trying to give you a history of how things were. The cigarettes, he said, were a huge thing in the 50s. And that's why he had all the like hatchet faces parents were selling cigarettes and kids.
So the film is about Crybaby, and he falls in love with the young girl Allison, who is a square, and her boyfriend is an asshole and wants to get back at Crybaby. And I feel like Allison's family is pretty accepting. The square's not so much. And Crybaby's family is accepting, except for the one girl that wants to act like she's knocked up by him.
That's not in his crew, right?
It's not his family, but she's a
No,
Drape.
but it's like somebody she's a Drape. Yeah, she's one of the people that he would hang around with.
Yeah, his crew is cool. His sister's cool. She's nice. She wants
Who, Ricki Lake? She's gonna have 3 kids.
Yeah.
The other thing was with Tracy Lords in this. That's a whole nother story, but we could go into a little bit later on.
But when they get in the fight early in the film, and they all the Drapes get arrested, but not the squares who started the fight. They go in front of the judge, who has the hots for the grandma. It's very clear.
I feel like the grandma had a huge arc in this.
Yeah.
Where she seemed, very pretentious. And like the one thing I remember the most is when she's at RSVP club and she gives them, what are the 4 B's? Beauty, brains, breeding, and bounty. And it was just what the fuck? And then John Waters talks about in a commentary that this is what his grandmother used to tell him.
That's crazy.
Think about it like this. I'm going to draw some comparisons to Dirty Dancing. The grandma had the same arc that the dad in Dirty Dancing had.
Yeah, exactly.
The grandma was a piece of shit in this movie. She
Until
sucked.
the end.
The dad was not.
But she got better.
The dad was
She
a
got
good
better,
person that didn't. No, the
Yeah.
grandma sucked until the very end. I know that she had the arc. I get it, but it didn't happen till the end, and she
What?
sucked.
No, it started early too when Crybaby came to the RSVP club.
What?
Yeah, because she let her go with him.
But still, every scene she'd be like, "Oh," about something and someone. You know what I mean?
And Crybaby is Patrick Swayze.
Really?
And
Wait, what do you mean?
yeah, they're the same character.
Oh,
He's
okay.
the bad boy that no girl should be with.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And he wants to have sex with Allison, but she's a good girl. Allison is Baby, and Crybaby is Patrick Swayze, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
No, it is. It definitely, like, I mean, I like talking about it like it's a satire because then it makes sense. It's
It is a
definitely that.
satire.
And there were so many things that happened. So again, I turned the movie off and watched it, and I watched Dirty Dancing. Then I turned it back on, and I'm glad I did. Not only because my memory for this movie is not long for this world, and I needed to, you know.
I like when they're in the jail, they're going in front of the judge, and the parents was it Hatchetface's parents roll in? I think it's her parents. Maybe no, her parents were the Bible people.
No, it was the boyfriend of Hatchet. They were the Bible thumpers. Hatchet's parents were the ones in the iron lung.
When the mom rolls in the iron lung and the judge says, "You can't smoke in here," and she says, "What do my tax dollars pay for other than these cigarettes that only give me tuberculosis?"
Yeah. But some of the things that got me were like the quartet with the squares was known as the whiffles. And I guess a whiffle is a real thing. It's like a haircut or something like that. And it's like,
Well, we wouldn't know nothing about haircuts, Rod.
yeah, I know. The air raid drill. It's just like things that were going on at that time. Like John Waters wanted to get all that stuff in there.
And that is cool. And there were definitely parts of that. I just feel like the execution is just funny.
It's supposed to be a comedy. Yeah, it's definitely a comedy.
But so silly. Like it was like the songs were I was telling you this before, right? That the songs were like not real songs. Like it was so
They did create some for it, but they did sing some that were like Shaboom by the Crew Cuts. That was a real song. Mr. Sandman by the Cordettes. And then the Drapes, they did all kinds of rockabilly and doo-wop kind of stuff
but
that
they were like funny.
yeah, some of it, yeah, funny, yeah. Well, like the song King Crybaby was made for it, but there is a Crybaby song that's out there. But yeah, it had to get some licensing, so
No, I don't even mean it like that. I just mean they really drove it home. The like, I don't know. I just feel like everything was just so silly. I feel like it is the first like scary movie spoof. That's exactly what it was to me. And I went in, I had never seen this, I had never heard of this, I had no idea what it was. And that's what it was to me, which I can totally appreciate, you know, whether I'm loving it or not. I totally can.
it kind of was one of Johnny Depp's roles as in movies where he did Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984, but then he was on Fox's 21 Jump Street and he was feeling like he was just going to be a teen idol. Well, he decided to do something a little bit fringy.
I like that though. I like that he did this because it was, I mean, okay, I'm coming around to it a little bit. At least I understand why you like it, but I feel like it is kind of a cool thing to do because it's like silly. It's very like just unserious, basically.
Right. Well, here's the mind of John Waters during the commentary. This is what they were doing. Every time Crybaby had a tear coming down, he called it the cum shot.
No, it literally is. It's so juicy and gelatin. Yeah. It's made of gelatin.
He said they used different items on how fast they wanted the tear to go.
That was clear Elmer's glue coming down that face. No, I loved it. That was funny. I liked that. I liked the tears.
You had the situation with Allison and Crybaby's parents. Allison's parents died in a plane crash, but they were on separate planes and they crashed, both of them.
That's where it reminded me so much of like Anna Faris in Scary Movie because she was like, yeah, they died in a plane crash. My mom and my dad and me, we took different planes because, you know, they didn't want to leave me without parents, but both the planes crashed.
But that was actually a common thing too when people were starting to take flights across the US is that parents would do that sometimes just so that their children wouldn't be left behind. But yeah, it definitely is funny. And maybe Scary Movie took that from here.
Oh, you mean like the satirical nature of it? Like the...
Right, yeah.
No, for sure. I did like that girl. And I guess, yeah, she did remind me of Anna Faris or something. I did like when she was drinking the tears and stuff and like being kind of a psycho, just like missing him. That was relatable. And what...
That was relatable.
And
she drinks tears.
You don't think that's funny?
And then Crybaby's parents, so his father was the alphabet bomber.
Electricity killed my parents.
They died in the electric chair?
That's right, Alice. My father was the alphabet bomber.
You know, they start going through A for airport, B for barbershop, C for car wash, D for drugstore. And then she asked,
But your mom...
My mother tried to stop him. She couldn't even spell, for Christ's sake, but they fried her too.
Yeah. When he was like, that's how my parents died. They were electrocuted. And I feel like anyone would think that anything else happened. And she was like, they both got the electric chair. It was just like,
well, he
okay.
has an electric chair tattooed on his chest,
yeah.
doesn't he? Yeah.
That makes sense. But I feel like it's really important that you guys know that we have something in common. Yeah, I put my tears in a jar once.
Just once.
What happened to him?
I put my blood, sweat, and my tears in a jar, a little baby jar. Only because I bled and I don't know, I had a little jar and I was like, why not? And then I was crying because I cry literally all the time.
Was this for a man?
No. Well, I mean, isn't everything... It's not. No, it wasn't.
All about men. Yeah.
No, it wasn't for someone.
Okay.
It's like, I think it's funny. I'm trying to be like quirky and funny, but also it's serious and I can't help myself. You know what I mean?
Kind of like this movie.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. I guess me and Crybaby, I understand it now. I just didn't before.
I really enjoy this one, and it's been a while since I'd seen it last. But yeah, it's fun, and I definitely wanted to hear what John Waters had to say about it because I'm not a huge John Waters fan, but he's an interesting fella.
Yeah, he's very interesting. William Dafoe's in this movie?
Yeah, he's the head jailer, and he slaps Johnny Depp on the ass to get in his bunk.
And that was like just not even in the script. He's just like,
no, improv.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slap you on the ass.
Yeah, whatever that song that she sang was funny. I mean, all the songs. It was like, Mr. Jailman, please let out the love of my life. Very silly, very funny.
Yeah, there was some songs that kind of pushed the story along with that you probably didn't need. I could see that.
I feel like I get
goofy.
I know he knew what he was doing. I know that it, like, I don't know. It was a funny satire, but it was silly. It was just a lot when I first started watching. I'm like, what? Like, I felt like they were making fun of Grease and everything, but like laughing in my face.
Well, they kind of are making
they
fun
are.
of
yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Those movies, because like we talked about earlier, Grease would never happen in real life. What are the odds that a greaser and a young girl on the squares or whatever the hell you call them,
and they met on vacation where their
meet
parents
on vacation and fall in love, and it's going to be okay with everybody? That's just not how society was back then.
No.
See, that's funny. I just didn't even think of the storyline in that either.
Yeah. Without knowing John Waters and his filmography, I could see where someone would miss a lot of the underlying tones of culture and importance and race and that stuff like that that's important in this movie.
I will say they did a really good job the first time that the girl's grandma had like run into them and was just so repulsed by them. And the stuff she was saying was obviously it was like over the top and satirical and whatever, but it was like they did a good job showing that, I don't know, there's always like the haves and the have-nots in like every movie, but they did a good job showing that they were truly repulsive to her. Like they were disgusting. And they tried to make them look like that too. They tried to make one, as pregnant as could be and the other,
Hatchet face.
Yeah.
It's okay, Hatchet. You're beautiful, baby.
Not only hatchet face, but like just constantly like making out with her boyfriend nonstop. And then the other girl, I liked her. I liked her haircut.
Which one?
The blonde.
Because that's Tracy Lords, former adult film star.
Yeah. Oh, is that what? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I feel like they tried to make all the girls look like they were off camera.
I'll go into that a little bit.
Okay.
So Tracy Lords was like a porn star in the 80s, but she was underaged when she started. She was like 16 or...
Oh, no, that's sad.
15 or something like that. And later on, like I think it was 87 that the FBI was starting to do an investigation. But I had found that there was a interview with Tracy Lord. She emotionally recalled how the entire cast rallied around her, make her feel welcome, because she said the FBI agents were visiting her on the set of Crybaby in like 89 or whatever it was filmed, and asking questions. And supposedly they were hiding her from the FBI. Now I started looking because I need to know if this is actually true, because there's so much shit that goes on IMDb and whatever. And when I listened to the commentary, that's when John Waters confirmed it. And I gotta believe he's at least 90% truthful on that. But he confirmed that the FBI kept trying to question her.
Yeah, and that was something that I saw during the shooting of the movie. They just kept coming out.
That's crazy. So, like, but not to get her in trouble, just like to know her situation, right?
Technically, she committed a crime, but she was a minor. But what happened with that situation is that they eventually told her, "We're not going to prosecute you. We're going to prosecute the director and the filmmakers that
Yeah.
put a minor in a movie, whether it was unbeknownst to them or what, but it was still wrong."
Wait, okay, yeah. For the porn, not for other movies, though, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, just the porn. Yeah.
But she was an actress?
Later on, became an actress, started doing films. Like maybe Crybaby was like one of her big ones, but
John Waters sounds like a cool guy. I like that he put a porn star in his movie.
he's a very accepting person.
I like that.
I mean, he had a transsexual in Hairspray playing the mother of the lead,
That's so awesome.
and it was a very famous transsexual too.
Okay.
Divine.
April 22nd, 1946. Movies. There's Pink Flamingos, Hairspray, Female Trouble, Crybaby, Serial Mom, which I love Serial Mom.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
Desperate Living,
Is it
Multiple
scary?
Maniacs, No.
Multiple Maniacs, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I watched it last year.
Yeah, he seems cool. I like him.
I forget Matthew Lillard was in Serial Mom.
Oh, plus she was in the first Blade movie.
Tracy Lord. Yeah, she played
Yeah.
the girlfriend or one of the vampires.
We had one of the vampires, yeah.
She was just so funny. Like, she was every, like every just like so, I don't know.
Well, then she had one guy she was dancing with, and because when there was a segment where they were French kissing, so she made out with the same guy, and she complained he had a boner the whole time.
Oh,
I mean, I can't blame the dude. I don't know.
yikes. Well, times have changed, luckily.
Well, have they?
Oh, yeah, boners don't happen anymore. You didn't know that.
Oh, I don't know what's happening to me in the morning then.
What do they call
Morning wood.
what do they call the people they have on set now? It's like
Oh, yeah, they have like.
What are you talking about? Fluffers?
no,
they have,
the
like,
opposite.
people that are like- yeah, they're like.
Oh, it's
They like make sure that everybody is comfortable with the scene.
anything
With
remotely
anything
sexual or like
like-
kisses or anything.
Yeah.
Which
Wow.
I feel like actors approach it like it's kind of like annoying at first, but I mean it's proven time and time again to be important, you know? Yeah, there was a lot of really nasty kissing in this movie.
It was intentional, though. Very intentional.
Yeah, for sure.
The way that they cast Depp in this was that Waters was looking through teen magazines and he saw Johnny Depp like in every damn magazine he ever read. Because some of the other people who were up for this were Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr., and this one kind of surprised me. Jim Carrey was on that list.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes sense. It's cool that they did Johnny Depp, and it's cool that Johnny Depp chose that because he's not like a silly dude, you know? Robert Downey Jr. would be funny.
He was a different person then, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Drew Barrymore
he's
was
really
up for the role of Allison.
Okay.
What was it? Hatchet Face was the title of a script John Waters was working on for a movie in 1985. That would have been a fun movie.
But did you know the actress who played Hatchet Face was the oldest of the teens? She was 34 freaking years old.
Wow.
Wow.
And the rest of them were like in their 20s. Amy Locane was the youngest when they were filming. She was 17, but she turned 18 at some point.
What do you think? You ready to rate it?
Well, one little trivia, the tattoos on Johnny Depp's arm, like Crybaby wasn't real, but that Native American, the Cherokee Indian, that's his first tattoo he ever had because his great grandmother was Cherokee.
Oh, wow.
And they worked it into the movie script, huh?
Yeah, just put it right above there.
Interesting.
That's interesting. You want to rate it?
Okay, so I would give this, I'm going to go higher than Dirty Dancing just by a little bit, but a 4.5 out of 5 cum shots. I just love this. This was so much fun. John Waters called it a cum shot, damn it.
It was.
John called it, so come on.
Tear shot.
So, little story before I give you my rating. I put this film on, and Finley came in the bedroom. It was close to bedtime and said, "Can I lay down in bed and watch this movie and go to sleep?" She did not go to sleep. She watched the whole movie.
It's so funny.
And at the end, I said, "You got to go to your bed. Did you like the movie?" And she said, "Did you say love?" I said, "No." I said, "Did you like the movie?" And she said, "If you put love
Watch
where
your mouth.
like is, then yes." I said, "You loved Crybaby?" And she said, "It is my new favorite movie. Can we watch it tomorrow?"
Stop. That's so funny.
She loves musicals. She loved Crybaby. When Hatchet Face busts through the screen of in the prison in the jailhouse,
Yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
and all the inmates are going crazy, scared. She thought it was the funniest thing ever. She loved this film.
If I saw it as a kid, I'd probably love it,
Love it, yeah.
forever, you know?
I'm going to go with you, Rod, though. It's fun. It's not my favorite John Waters film. Pink Flamingos is maybe a little more gross and fun. Serial Mom is probably my favorite that I've seen. I'm going to go 4.25.
Wow. You guys are
Finley
so similar.
loves this film.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm feeling bad
No,
because
don't feel
John
bad,
Waters
be
seems
honest.
like a really cool guy.
Just give us your honest opinion.
So I swear to God, I really do think the idea around it is cool. I can appreciate it. And it's like looking back, like talking about these jokes, like they were very purposeful and funny. It serves a purpose, obviously, for Finley. But I think I was hoping to maybe, I don't know, just watch a love. I'm not sure. I didn't enjoy watching it. That's what I'm going to say. I didn't enjoy watching it very much.
What's the rating?
Like a 2.5.
2.5. Huh.
Yeah.
Out of what?
Oh, Jar Full of Tears?
2.5 jars full of tears. Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't enjoy watching it very much. I think, yeah, the idea of it is cool. I'm glad that somebody enjoyed it, you know? But
We both like it.
Yeah, that's good.
And I told her this is a payback for making us watch Clueless,
Yeah,
right?
it's not. I think that we need to do the Clueless episode again.
Once is enough.
Well,
How about we do a little this or that? So I've got 2 recommendations. How many you got, Brian?
5.
oh, wow.
You're always a fucking overachiever. So last time I thought it was obvious, but the obvious one that I think is Hairspray from 1988.
Okay.
That is on your list, right?
That is on my list.
So
yes.
is that kind of satirical too? Like, is it silly?
Yeah, yep.
But like, okay, you get what I'm saying, the difference between like a Grease where even though it might be stupid and silly, it's not supposed to be. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not taking itself completely serious.
This movie?
Yeah, well, this one or Hairspray.
Or Hairspray, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My other recommendation, which could very well be on your list too, is the Rocky Horror Picture Show from 1975.
That's not on my list.
Oh, it's not.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh my god.
No, I have seen Clueless probably, I don't know, 6,000
Wasting your life
times.
away.
What do you have?
So my recommendation is the first one's from 1978, and it's
This car could be systematic, hydromatic, ultramatic. Why could be grease lightning?
You really think that? See,
Yeah.
that's where it all went wrong for me, I think.
Why?
Thinking it was going to be like Grease and having them just be like,
stupid teenage idiot
but
kids
that's,
and
they were self-aware in this movie. I like to be in dreamland sometimes. You just I have to know which land I'm in. You know what I mean? You get that? Like, I watch Grease and I'm like, again, just like Dirty Dancing, I'm like, I could be that.
and it would never happen.
I'm kidding, not really, but you know what I mean.
And then from 1986, Pretty in Pink.
Okay.
From 1988, Heathers.
That I can understand the tone.
And then from 2010, Easy A.
Oh,
Oh,
I never have seen that.
I never have either, but yeah, when I
So-
did research and stuff, I was like, okay.
you haven't seen
It's-
it? I've seen
No,
it.
it seems like, I mean, I've seen bits and pieces
It's
of
actually
it, but
kind of good.
You know who else is an easy A? Our podcast network, the PFPN, Prescribed Films Podcast Network. So let's hear from them.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
so now that we've heard from our podcast network, it's time for the news.
And on April 4th of 1990, King Boudouin of Belgium, he was a devout Catholic, but he decided to step down for about 36 hours so that the government could sign a bill legalizing abortion because he didn't want to get caught up into it. And then the very next day, they signed him back into as the king.
I mean, is that cowardly or cool that he decided to step aside?
Well, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. It's
Yeah.
just kind of weird. He didn't want anything to do with it, but he's going to allow it to go through without his blessing or denial or whatever.
I guess cool that he was like trying to, step aside and let them do their thing. But if it was just so that he didn't look bad, that's stupid.
Then on April 11th, custom officers in the UK seized what they believed to be a barrel of a massive gun on a ship bound for Iraq. The custom officers had found a huge gun barrel that was capable of firing nuclear and chemical shells waiting to be loaded on an Iraqi chartered ship. The size of this thing, though, was 130 feet in length. It's like, how do you think you're going to get by getting that on a ship without anybody noticing?
They should have put it in a big giant horse.
That's a big ass horse.
A Trojan horse?
Yeah. Wait, somebody else did it. Shoot.
Yeah. And then on April 16th, the Supreme Court rejects an appeal for a mentally handicapped man. The man's name was Dalton Prejean. He was condemned to death for murdering a Louisiana state trooper, Donald Cleveland, in 1977. Prejean was one of 22 people in the U.S. who was executed for crimes committed while they were juveniles, though. He was executed much like Crybaby's parents in the electric chair in Louisiana on May 18th of 1990.
That's so sad.
Interesting.
And then my last piece of news comes from April 24th. Grunard Island, Scotland, is officially declared free of anthrax after 48 years of quarantine. So basically, in 1942, during World War II, the island became a sacrifice zone, is what they called it, where it was dangerous for all mammals after the military were doing experiments on anthrax bacterium. It was decontaminated in 1990. Some of the weird things with this is that to test the anthrax, they had 80 sheep on the island, and then they dropped a bomb of anthrax on them just to see what would happen.
What?
Yeah, it didn't take them long. Within days of the exposure, they started showing signs and dying off. So
That's so sad.
crazy ass shit.
Was there people on the island or just?
No, the island was pretty much uninhabited, but they put the animals to test.
That's, just like humans to come in and just ruin things for no reason,
I've got movie news next. Top 10 movies of April 6th of 1990. Number 1, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Have always liked Cowabunga.
Huh?
The original?
The original, yes.
I'm actually going to go see that on the rooftop at the Last Picture House here. And
that's awesome.
I mean, I've already seen it, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to go with some friends on a double date and go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's awesome.
Should be a fun one.
Where?
The Last Picture House in Davenport, Iowa. They have rooftop showings.
That's so cool.
Number 2, Pretty Woman.
Pretty woman walking down the street. Pretty woman, the kind I like to meet.
Hell yeah.
Lame.
You don't like that?
Another unrealistic movie. A hooker becomes a rich one.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
No, another one that I would be like, I could do that. That's such a good movie.
Here's one that Brian might like. Number 3 was Ernest Goes to Jail.
Opportunity to decide right or wrong, good or evil, regular or unleaded.
Damn right, Ernest Goes to Jail.
Wow.
Know what I mean, Vern?
Number 4 was The First Power, which was a sort of a horror movie. 5 was The Hunt for Red October.
What's that?
Sean Connery, he's a submarine captain.
Okay.
Number 6 was I Love You to Death.
To Death?
To Death.
To Death. Number 7, though, was a huge movie that year, Driving Miss Daisy. But we had an even bigger one, because number 8 was Cry Baby.
Wow.
Wow.
It made the top 10, yeah.
That's crazy.
Interesting, yeah.
Rounding out the top 10, number 9 was Opportunity Knocks, and number 10 was Joe vs. the Volcano.
Oh, with Tom Hanks.
So on March 26th of that year, we had the 62nd Annual Academy Awards, and some of the winners were for leading role as an actor, Daniel Day-Lewis for My Left Foot. I have not fucking heard of that movie before.
You've never heard of My Left Foot?
Uh-uh.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen it, but I know of the film, yeah.
And an actor in a supporting role went to Denzel Washington for the movie Glory.
Okay.
About the Civil War.
Yep. actress in a leading role, Jessica Tandy for Driving Miss Daisy, and then actress in a supporting role was Brenda Frickler for My Left Foot.
My love, that sounds made up.
Yeah, I know. The director that won was Oliver Stone for Born on the 4th of July, and Best Picture ended up being Driving Miss Daisy. During that award show, Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa, he won the Academy Award for Lifetime Achievement. Then I got the horror movies of April of 1990. We got one of the greats, Frankenhooker.
Want a date? Going out? Looking for some action? Need some company?
Got any money?
I haven't seen that. You recommend it?
Definitely.
Okay.
Then we had The First Power, The Guardian, Class of 1999. We had a full moon film called Meridian, Kiss of the Beast. Last one I had never heard of was a movie called Lisa.
I don't know no Lisas.
That sounds made up as well.
What do you got for TV news, Brian?
In TV news, got our top 12 in TV news. Number 1 was Cheers. Number 2 is 60 Minutes. Number 3, Roseanne. Number 4, actually tied number 4 and number 5, A Different World and The Cosby Show. Number 6 is Murphy Brown. And then number 7, we have Empty Nest, America's Funniest Home Videos. And then number 9 is Monday Night Football.
I gotta get ready, make everything right. Monday Night Football's coming on tonight.
10 is The Golden Girls, and that was tied with Designing Women. And then number 12 was Murder, She Wrote.
That is amazing television.
And then also in that month, the Ha Comedy Channel begins on cable TV. WrestleMania, The Ultimate Warrior fights Hulk Hogan.
And what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan, the Maniacs, and the whole WWF run wild on you?
Then the world's largest bunny hop at Radio Music City Hall. Madonna starts her Blonde Ambition tour. Ooh, controversy. And then finally, the long-lost pilot of the show I Love Lucy is broadcast by CBS on a special.
Oh.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Wait, the pilot was lost?
I guess I didn't know where it was or didn't have it. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure things got crazy back then.
Another show, I think a lot of people overlook the importance of I Love Lucy. The first biracial couple on TV.
Oh, no, I like that.
You think she was white and he was Hispanic.
I love it.
And people just didn't even think anything of it.
He was very attractive, and I love her. She has the same birthday as my dad. But, you know, my mom used to always tell me really funny, maybe adult facts about things when I was younger. They would just stick with me. Like the show Mad About You, every time it came on, she would tell me that the theme song was written by Paul Reiser from the show. And we would watch I Love Lucy, and she would say, yeah, they're so cute, but he used to cheat on her all the time. And that was about it.
So I got the music news. Number 1 in the U.S. was Love Will Lead You Back by Taylor Dane. But it wouldn't last long because I'll Be Your Everything by Tommy Page took over on April 8th. That would get dethroned a week later by my favorite of the 3, Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor.
Will you sing it?
No, but Chris Cornell's version of it I like a lot more. He did a live version of it that was really good.
And she would go on to be blackballed from the music industry for ripping up a picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live, right?
Yep, that's correct, yeah. Number 1 song in the UK was The Power by Snap, but the Brits would soon be vogued. By Madonna. on the 8th of that month. So Madonna was popular with the Vogue, but it wasn't in the US for some reason. Maybe the US had it like months earlier and it was popular. I don't know. Then the number one R&B was called Spread My Wings by Troop.
I don't think they were probably talking about wings.
Whoa, that was way too quick. Did you guys plan that?
No, not at all.
Jeez.
The number one country was Hard Rock Bottom of Your Heart by Randy Travis. Then I had the number one dance track was Touch Me by 49ers. I don't know who the 49ers were besides Joe Montana and Steve Young. Few pieces of music news were on April 4th. Singer Gloria Estefan was released from the hospital after her tour bus accident. That occurred on March 20th, 1990. She had sustained some serious injuries, so 2 weeks later, they got her out of there. She was even temporarily paralyzed for a little bit of that time.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it kind of slowed her career down a little bit, but I think she made a comeback afterwards.
That's crazy.
On April 12th, James Brown moves to a work release center after serving 15 months of a 6-year sentence for a weapons and drugs related conviction. So back in 88, he was arrested after a high-speed chase that began in Georgia.
What?
Yeah, and then it didn't end until he got South Carolina.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He had been convicted of 2 counts of aggravated assault and eluding the police.
Well, was the assault against the police or was it a...
I'm not sure. He probably fought back. My last piece of music news, April 25th, we had the 25th Academy of Country Music Awards. Entertainer of the Year was George Strait. The album of the year was Killing Time by Clint Black. The top female vocalist was Kathy Mattea. Top male was Clint Black. Top group was a group called Restless Heart. And then the top vocal duo, which a lot of people probably know, the Judds.
Can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you?
Mother and daughter duel.
I don't know if I actually know their music. Wait, did they do a movie together though?
No, I don't believe so.
The youngest sister, Ashley Judd, was in movies, but she didn't really sing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
That's
know
what I'm thinking
Ashley
of.
Judd, I'm sure.
Maybe.
What do you got for sports, Brian?
In sports news, on April 1st, the 9th NCAA Women's Basketball Championship, Stanford beats Auburn 88-81. Cardinal point guard Jennifer Ozzie is the player of the tournament, or player of the game, the MVP. On April 2nd, in the 52nd NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV, beats Duke 103-73, so by 30 points. And at that time, it was the largest margin of victory, and it was the Running Rebels' first title. I think that was Larry Johnson's team, and he would go on to be the first pick by the Charlotte Hornets. On April 5th, John Stockton reaches the 1,000-assist mark for the NBA record 3 years in a row.
That's right, greatest white boy in the NBA.
Larry Bird's better. On April 19th, the Pistons and the 76ers getting into a fight. $162,000 in fine. Yeah, I don't know if that's like the Malice in the Palace, or I don't know. They just got into it. On April 20th, former MLB player Pete Rose and manager pleads guilty to hiding the $300,000 in income. And then on April 21st, a National League umpire is arrested for stealing baseball cards. What the hell? He probably just asked for them and get them. And then,
right? I think I've got some in my attic.
And then on April 22nd, in the NFL draft, University of Illinois quarterback Jeff George is the first pick by the Indianapolis Colts, and he did not have a very good career.
What happened?
He just sucked at football.
Aw, bummer.
Played for the Vikings, didn't he, for a little bit?
He was a Colt, and I don't know what happened to him after that. I don't know.
You got some toy news?
Oh, we did the toys? Oh, yeah. In April 1990, some of the most popular toys, of course, were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures, fueled by the popularity of the animated series and the 1990 live-action movie. Another popular toy from the 90s was the Game Boy, which was released in in Japan in April of 89, but gained popularity in the US shortly after. Changeables was a toy series produced by McDonald's, which was given as a toy in their Happy Meals. They had the robots, and they would turn into like a popular food item.
Oh yeah, I had some of those.
There was 3 series of those, 87, 89, and 90. The series in 1990 was dinosaurs. So there was Mick Dino Cone.
I'm the baby, God love me, right?
No, these were McDonald's toys.
Damn it. I thought you said this series. Oh, okay.
Long time, yeah.
I am the baby, though, and you gotta love me.
A McNuggetsosaurus, Triceratops, Big Macosaurus Rex.
Okay.
Bronto Cheeseburger, Small Fry, Sir Top. Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody can beat McDonald's and like their random characters and like.
That's when they had good toys. They don't have good toys very often anymore.
But they do the vintage stuff now. They try to.
They try to.
I feel like it's for people like adults. What?
I got one weird fact. You got jokes or you got death?
Oh, I got weddings, divorces, births.
Okay.
Go ahead with your weird fact.
So the weird fact, in April of that year, April 1st, it becomes illegal in Salem, Oregon to be within 2 feet of a nude dancer.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was looking everywhere, and every time I try to type it in, I just get some other freaking facts about Salem.
It opened his Pornhub open.
Are they trying to be haunted by powerful women or what? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, so only if they are dancing nude, of course, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
2 feet. You just have to stay 2 feet away from them.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, well, maybe they're protecting them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Okay.
So I got some wedding news. I got 2 weddings. April 28th, Guns N' Roses singer Axl Rose marries Erin Everly. It was later annulled that same year, so it didn't last long. She was the actress in the video, the Sweet Child of Mine video. Yeah, I mean, I could remember that video a little bit, so I'd have to check it out. But then on April 30th, game show host Alex Trebek weds real estate mogul Gene Curavan at the Regency Club in Los Angeles. They stayed married until Alex's death in November 8th of 2020, so a very long time, 30 years.
Well.
R.I.P. Alex. Love you.
Aww.
And then I only have one divorce besides Axl, but another one of the Guns N' Roses guys, Duff McKagan, divorces Mandy Briggs. She was the lead singer for Lame Flames. So it must have been like an indie band, kind of.
So those boys got to be single together that year, right?
Oh my God, those guys just got around.
Yeah, they probably acted single all the time.
Yeah.
Gross.
I've got a few births. On April 9th, Kristen Stewart, American actress, she played Bella Swan in the Twilight series, was born in Los Angeles, California. So what's your favorite Twilight movie?
None of them.
I was never into them either. Have you guys watched them?
I own all of them.
I'm not trying to watch them.
I ended up owning them after my first relationship. She didn't take them back, and I didn't get rid of them. Maybe I have problems. I don't know.
Did she refuse to? Because that would be a funny scenario.
Probably. Then on April 15th, Emma Watson, English actress, played Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter series, was born in Paris, France.
I was 2 months old.
That was Ron Weasley's girlfriend, right?
Yeah. April 22nd, Machine Gun Kelly, born Colson Baker, singer, songwriter, actor.
Nope.
Yeah, question marks behind all those. Born in Houston, Texas.
He's a creep.
Yeah, he's weird. My last one is an actress who may not be so well known, but she had a big movie that came out a month or so ago. April 25th, Megan Fahey. She was in the series White Lotus, and she was in the movie that just came out, Drop. She was born in Long Meadow, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Not a lot of people would recognize the name unless they've seen the TV series, I think.
I didn't watch White Lotus, but it sounds awesome.
It sounds good. It really does.
Yeah, people love it.
And now it's time for 6 Feet Under with Rod.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Maybe 6 feet is so far down.
Yeah, April 7th, the MS Scandinavian Star, it was a Swedish ship or something like that. It was set on fire that night, and they initially thought the cause of the fire was an arsonist who had also died in there. But later, the investigation showed that it was 2009 determined that there were several separate fires and that multiple people would have had to been needed to do it. But yeah, 159 people died on that ship.
Oh my God.
Well, the layout was basically set to, if a flame hit it, there was like lacquer on the walls, like wood walls. So those lit up right away.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been in a fire?
Have I been in a fire?
Like, did you have like my house burned down or?
My sister's house burned down when I was living with her.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the lady.
Oh, wow.
The lady upstairs, her son lit the curtains on fire. Yeah.
Like, because he was young and.
He was an asshole, I think.
Oh.
Just a little butthole kid that got
Wow.
some matches and burned. Yeah, ended up burning her house down. It was a lady. My sister used to work at McDonald's, and the lady's name was Julie Brown. I coined her. Burn it down, Julie Brown was her new nickname.
Wow.
I got just two more. April 15th, actress Greta Garbo. She was a Swedish actress and Hollywood silent film star. She was in movies like Grand Hotel and Camille. She lived a pretty good life, but she died of pneumonia at the age of 84. And then the last one, April 22nd, Albert Salmi. He was an American stage and screen character actor. He was like in Caddyshack, I guess. He kills his terminally ill wife and self at the age of 62.
What?
Yeah. Evidently, his wife had filed for divorce, and it was because he was violent and May had some mental issues.
Wait, I thought this was sweet. Like she asked him to do it.
No, did not.
Can you imagine living to 64, getting a terminal illness, and then dying of murder? That's crazy.
He shot his wife in the kitchen and then shot himself in the upstairs room.
Wait, what was that couple that they found both of them dead recently and they were like famous people? Oh, you guys have to know, right? And it was some weird scenario. Like,
yeah, it was an older person. They found him dead and she was like mummified and.
Or like if he was older than her, like he came in and found her dead and was like, oh, and then died or something. But like they literally died at two separate times, right? I don't know. Well, it wasn't a murder-suicide at least. So that's good.
Didn't happen.
Okay.
And last thing, I got one joke. Why did the square feel out of place? It wasn't hip enough to hang around with the circles.
Oh, shit. I like that. That was good.
That was not good.
Yeah, it was. It was really good.
All right. Well, thanks again, Autumn, for
Thank you.
joining us for part 2.
Even though you hated the movie.
I do feel a little cheated. I think that maybe the Notebook or something that's like,
oh, fuck.
Maybe just make what I mean, you know, come on. Summer of Love. Summer of Love.
This is a love story.
A love story between who?
Crybaby and Allison.
Okay, yeah.
They rode off on their motorcycle together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what we could watch next that's a love story? The Water Boy. That's a love story. I saw Vicky Valentine's titties or boobies and I liked it.
Oh my God. Can you imagine going into that movie with like no prior knowledge at all?
And Vicky Valentine showed me her boobies and I liked them too.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, see?
That was a sweet movie.
Well, thanks if you were listening, and remember to listen to our other show, the I Like It Spooky Horror Podcast. And Clint, until next time.
There's no love on that one.
That marks the end of our broadcast day here at The Wrong Podcast Died. Our transmission is powered by a frequency of 800 watts. We will resume our usual programming in 2 weeks. Until then, we bid you good night.